get the fuel into its veins so we can get into the boost and start having some fun. I'm back and I'm finally gonna drive Red's head. He's all done. So now it needs a good tune on it. I need a good bass tune before I do anything. In the meantime, I put a brand new turbo on. It's actually slightly larger than my last ones. Raw valve, did all this custom work, and then I added water to air intercooler, and I have a water box in the back. So I'm testing all this out. I need to tune it all. So first I'm gonna do a little bit of idle tuning, get that good, and then I'm gonna get my buddy Cody to drive it, and I'll just relax in the passenger seat, show you how I'm doing this, and I'm just gonna tune. I'm gonna let him drive, tell him when to get in and out of boost, what RPMs to let off and get on, and we'll see you then. All right, so I just opened my laptop, haven't touched the thing yet. So as you can see, I'm running very lean because this is tuned for a 2-liter because I had a 2-liter in it and I threw in a 2.5 ZE. So I'm gonna highlight this whole map since I've already messed with it with the 2-liter, and I am going to add 20% fuel because assuming since it's a larger engine, it's gonna need more fuel. So I'm gonna just highlight the whole map rather than going cell by cell, and I'm going to multiply it by 20%. See what happens. It is already going down. I'm seeing 15, 14.7. That's a pretty good guess for a rookie. I'm gonna burn that on and check my air fuels downtown. So I'm chilling at about 16.5, and keep in mind the car is up to temp, so I'm not running any enrichment with the warm-up right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a touch more since I'm running 16.5. And keep in mind, the lower the number, the more fuel, because the number is actually replicating the air. So when I'm actually looking at the number, the higher the number, the more air, the less fuel. So I'm gonna add another 10% in and see what happens. I think that liked it, so I'm gonna burn it on. And I'm running 14.0. For idle, you should be anywhere in between 13.5 and 14.7, depending on fuel economy. If you're like going for fuel economy, you can go a little bit higher. You could go to 15.5 if you don't mind, but I want drivability, so that went down to 12 when I revved her. I bogged quite a bit there. Just got to figure that out. Gonna check out my accelerate enrichment. All right, so I think I've already somewhat found a problem. I am going to go into my launch control because when I'm revving, I'm not doing that. I'm just holding the throttle. I'm thinking that my launch control is on for some reason. Well, it's supposed to be on, but I'm gonna look at my settings here. It's enabled when TPS is above 2%. I think that my clutch switch is actually depressed for some odd reason. I might have a wire stuck in there, but I'm gonna turn it off now because I don't have time for that. See if that changes it. Yep, that was the problem. Okay, back on track. And now I'm back to tuning revving, and the bottom is RPM and the left is fuel load. I have my top KPA for 300, which is around 26.5 PSI, and I am not gonna run it that high. I'm thinking the max we'll see today is 10 pounds. 10 pounds will be around 300, but we'll see what happens. I've got a 5-pound spring in there, but I'm just gonna rev away and watch my RPMs and watch my air fuel. I'm a little bit rich, but honestly, it's running pretty good. So I think this is a good start for drivability. Okay, so Cody's driving for me. And what I'm going to be doing is watching the air fuels. He's just getting up to speed and he's in and out of about 10 and 11. So I'm just gonna be tuning drivability right now. I'm just gonna be adjusting my fuel trims. I took out 20% out of my timing already, so I know I'm not gonna get any knock. I'm not gonna data log yet because I don't need to, because I can do this visually because I can watch what's going on. So I'm just gonna fart around with this for a bit. Okay, Cody, give her about 15% throttle. Okay. So I saw there that he was running about 10 air fuel in these cells, so I'm gonna bring her down just a little bit. So I'm gonna highlight all of this that was above cruise. So I'm gonna take out 5%, and to take out 5%, I need to multiply it by 0.95. And there we go. Let off the throttle. And I'm burned in, and we're gonna continue on. Okay, 15% throttle. No more. Alright, still running rich. Shifted into third. Do the same thing. A little bit more. Okay, that was running proper. So in here, I had good air fuels, but down here I don't, so I'm gonna highlight those and then remove a couple percentage there, which is 0.95. I'm gonna take off 5%. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is I want you to find a speed where you can put it in fourth at like 1500 RPM and there's no traffic forward and back, and then where you can hold 15% throttle.
Alright, perfect.
Go to third now. Fourth. Go to fourth. Just right to fourth. Don't rip it though. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. Okay, now just slight throttle. More. 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 Okay, we were running pretty damn good there. So I think it's time to data log because it's actually running good. So what I'm gonna do is burn all this on, make a save, and then I'm going to start data logging because I won't be able to tune this quick enough because we're gonna be letting her eat. So here are my settings for my air fuel table. So I'm gonna aim for 14.5 at idle, 7 or 13.7 for kind of cruise, kind of idling, high if that was a high idle, and then when we get closer to 100, we're getting into the low 12s. I'm actually gonna raise that just a little bit. I'm gonna raise that. Actually, it's lowering because I want the lower number, because lower the number, the more fuel. So we're gonna be aiming for, as soon as we're in the boost, we're gonna be high 11s, low 12s. Honestly, don't care if I'm running a little fat. We're not running meth injection or E85. This is 91 octane. I'm not gonna do 94 because 94 you can't get everywhere. So we're gonna just live with this. Let off. Okay. Okay, I want you to give her a little bit. Let off. Okay, we saw some leanage there. Okay, go through the gears. Pretty good here. Okay, it's going lean really hard. What gear are you in? Third? No.
Too much.
No, yeah, third gear it'll break. But just go slow enough to go in second.
Oh, go slow enough for second.
Yeah, then pull her up this hill. Alright, so I've seen it go real lean, and it's actually looked like good on the map. So I'm gonna check the duty cycle and we're gonna watch him. Okay, give her. Time to start data logging. We're gonna name this HH. Okay, give her a little tug. Let off. Alright. So it went lean there, so I'm just gonna go into my map, or my log. Check that. I actually gotta turn it off first. So I have my throttle position up, my knock retard up, my air fuel ratio up, and my map. So I got it all in here. So what I'm really looking at to find where he was in it, I'm looking for a peak in the yellow. So I'm already at the peak right here. You can see the throttle position is going up. The highest he was at was 37%. And right here, it's looking at it dropped to 13.8. So 13.8 is way too lean, and I want to add fuel there. So you can see it's just slowly creeping up, but I want it to creep down. So I want it to get richer as the RPMs go up. So I'm going to look over here, and I'm at about 42 here. I'm going to highlight this general area, and add a bunch of fuel because this needs to get the fuel into its veins so we can get into the boost and start having some fun. He's gonna pull her in a second. You can go slower. Okay, now go. We're gonna watch the air fuel. That was a lot better. Okay, so we're looking better. I still need to add some fuel. So I'm just gonna highlight everything up here and add 10%. Yeah, we're not really in the ballpark yet for me to data log and really dial it in. So I'm just gonna add fuel by fuel, and once I'm starting to run rich, I will start data logging and then pulling fuel out. All right, do another tug, man. Second. Okay, now go. We're watching again. Hopefully she's running a little bit more rich. That's in the tens, baby. We're almost, oh, let off. It's a little rich, or it's a little lean over here, but I'm getting closer. I'm gonna add another 10% up top, and I'm gonna get them to do the same thing again. Okay. Much better. We're there. Oh, that feels good. Whoa! All right, that's enough. Holy cow. Brakes, 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 brakes. Yes, that felt really good. Yeah. Felt really, really good. Woo. All right, we're gonna take a Ricky over here, and he's gonna pull her in a second, do a pull, and we're gonna see what the duty's at. You don't want to be any lower or any higher than 80.
That's 2,000 miles.
Go. Oh, we're at 100% duty. We're at 100%. Okie dokie. All right, so since we saw this thing wrap itself right around, all right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the vacuum line off of the return for the regulator, shove this in, and that should bump up my fuel pressure a little bit. So hopefully I can get some more fuel so we can let this thing actually perform. I would like my duty cycle to be less than the yellow line, which is basically 80. So, and we saw her wrap around to, well, I saw her wrap around to 110, which is not very nice. All right, so this is the vacuum line I want to remove. So I'm gonna unplug this bad boy and plug it. So I'm gonna shove a screw in there. So this might affect my idle tune, but at this point I want to make power. I can always adjust the idle and everything after or right now. So we're gonna try and make some more power. See if that made a difference. I'm just gonna smooth this out because it's really bugging me. But we're gonna go give her a shot and see if that actually changed my duty cycle and is gonna give me some more fueling. So I'm gonna go back and watch that and the air fuels, and we're gonna see. I got this red line. This is the duty cycle. I'm gonna let him floor it, and then we're gonna see how high the actual duty cycle goes. All right, give her. It's still getting to 100, but I don't think it's as bad. I think I might cut the gate spring just to bring her down a bit, or put injectors in it. So right now I'm really high on my duty cycle. It's running good though. Like, it's not leaning out. It's actually doing what it's got to do. So the temptation of leaving it or putting injectors in it or cutting the spring down and making less power, the thinking is real. All right, so I just started a log. He's gonna do a pull from second gear all the way to red line, and we're gonna see what happens after that. Give her. Okay, good enough. You one-handed that.
Yeah.
That's ballsy. Like, we were all over the road.
Well, it was back and forth.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but damn, that was some good driving. So the white line here is my duty cycle, and the yellow line here is my load, and that is very, very high. I was in boost in here, and in here, this is the duty cycle, like I said, and I'm going through it, and I want to see, oh, it went to 132. That is cooking. The max it saw was 140. on the duty cycle, that is bad news bears, if you know what that means. You're supposed to be at 80. It's running good. Like, as you can see, the green line, we were at 11.2, chilling. So honestly, I'm gonna pull fuel. So we see less spike in that, but like honestly, I don't want to make less power. If I have to, I will put larger injectors in. It's running good. Like, the leanest we saw there was 11.4, so I'm gonna pull some fuel. So as you can see, the curve drops really hard, goes down to 10, then starts backing off. So I want this to be more linear. So I'm going to add some fuel here to this 12.0. That's a 12.0. So I'm gonna add 5% there. And then I'm gonna scooter along here, and then it goes to 11.1 over here. So I'm gonna actually pull some fuel out of here, just cleaning up this tune. And I've taken out 5% there, so I'm gonna continue on. Then it goes down to low 11s, high 10s, and then goes back up to 11.4. So I've actually already adjusted those cells, so I'm gonna continue and move on. Then it goes 11.8, that's where I wanna be. 11.4, little rich, but that's fine. Then it goes to 12.0. So 12.0 I'm gonna raise for sure. So I don't like that. I'm just gonna raise a little bit, a couple percent. I'm gonna add 2%. 1.02 will get me 2%. Then moving along here, 11.2, 11.2, 11.2, 11.2, 11.4, 11.5. So up at the top here, I'm running a little bit rich. So I'm going to go over here and remove some fuel, and hopefully that's gonna bring down 40% duty cycle, which will never happen, but we're gonna pretend and never look again. So I'm gonna take 5% out, and the duty cycle should be at 60% now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm just joking. It won't be, but it'll be a little better. Honestly, I just need injectors. I need to be smart here, but honestly, if she runs, she runs. I hate to say it. So I'm gonna save this, let off, save that tune, and then upload it, and we'll give her a shot. All right, so I got a log named OKNNN. My log's really weird, don't judge. But we're good to go. We're logging, and we're gonna see what she's doing. So I took out some fuel in some parts and added in others. So we'll see what happens.
Good.
Good. Oh, that was good. Woo-hoo-hoo! We went freaking quick there. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, so I'll check that log. It ran really good. I was watching the gauge over there,
Yeah.
but it ran real good, and it's pulling decent. Like, it's not a, like, extremely fast car, but it's making some power. I'm gonna share some news. It was running way better, so I got my duty cycle down to 30 or 130. Sorry, my apologies, I lied there. But I was running 11.6 down to 11.3, and then back down to 11.5 at the top. And I'm slowly getting my fuel map dialed. I'm still gonna pull some fuel at this 11.2. I want her to be a little more lean than that, just to save a life or two. We just saw a buddy, so we're gonna just fly by him. Let her eat, buddy. Ford, hear her! All right, let out. That's quick. This isn't even your car. So last year I had a 2-liter, and I had her pretty much maxed on just 5 pounds. I'm talking the injectors. I had the injectors like at 100%, and I didn't change the injectors, and now they're at like 130. So what I'm thinking about doing is going back to the shop and modifying the return line, because it's a run-through system. So the fuel goes to the engine and it returns to the tank. So a way you can increase the fuel pressure is you can make the return restricted somewhat. So in the big end, it's not just putting all the fuel into the injectors, it'll actually have some pressure still. So that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. it's running great. Like if the air fuels were all over the place and inconsistent, but they're not. It's just worked. So I think I'm gonna pinch the line somehow, and I'm gonna not turn it up, but I'm gonna get more reliable. It was pretty funny. I'm like, all right, like I haven't even driven this thing, and like I just put so much time and money into it. And he's like, well, yeah, you can drive it. I'm like, well, it's my car. He's like, well, yeah, you can drive it. Oh, it was pretty funny.
Having so much fun though.
Yeah, I know you are. Roasting tires and having a blast. So now I'm gonna drive it and show him how to drive it, if you know what I'm saying. Just kidding. I shifted pretty hard. Apparently this thing is getting driven by all my friends, and we're gonna go over some train tracks. Nate's gonna be driving her, and he's one-handing her. No power steering.
That's how we do it. We only one hand.
All the LS guys just use one hand. Party town, you can. 7 grand. Hit the limiter. That was a good ball. This is bumpy, man. I wouldn't drive this thing too fast down this. This is too bumpy for this car, for sure.
Ah, bro.
So as you can see, it was a real good night at the shop. Can't get those memories out. Y'all love that stuff. So the boys got to rip the car, I got to tune, and that's what it is. Had a lot of fun. Got to see people enjoy the car, and that is honestly one thing that really is important to me, is having other people enjoy the car. Cars are about having fun and learning and having a great time together, and this car, I have next to no money in this thing, and it's been great. I love it. It's not low boost, it's not making a pile of power, but I think it'll last, and yeah, it probably needs injectors, but that's what garage tuning is about, is just using what you got and letting her eat. So we'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.